But I do feel like being fat filters out a lot of like the worst man alive, kind of.
You couldn't be further from the truth. Being fat actually doubles your chances of attracting the worst of the worst. And when I say worst of the worst, I'm talking about people that will fantasize you, emotionally manipulate you, exert coercive control over you, love bomb you, physically or emotionally abuse you, or other predatory behaviors like fascism. The stats are not on your side, Victoria, but I'm willing to hear the rest of what you have to say, so why don't we start at the beginning?
I just watched a video that said, yes, when you lose weight, you get more male attention, but look at the man of the year trend. None of those women are fat.
First of all, not true. There are videos like this.
Your fat is literally touching my side.
And for those of you that don't know, the Man of the Year trend is women posting their photo with the Lorde song Man of the Year playing, followed by a clip of their boyfriend, usually ex-boyfriend, exhibiting some really, really bad behavior. Often it's just some audio, but sometimes it's a video, and it shows them fighting, swearing, just behaving really, really badly. Now, Victoria's point about none of those women being fat, first of all, is false because there have been fat women that have posted. But what I think that is more true is that fat women likely don't want to be viewed as the stereotype. I mean, for as long as I can remember, there has always been a stereotype of guys that date fat women because they can get away with more. And getting away with more can be from emotional to physical abuse to them permitting themselves to be cheated on. So, in my opinion, it's not that there's this filter that prevents fat women from getting involved with men like this, but more like that the women that are in these toxic situations are not very comfortable posting about it. But let's continue. Let's see what else Victoria has to say.
And like, first, gag. Second, I have a theory on that. I know firsthand as a fat woman, men do not do charity work. They just don't. If a man is not attracted to a fat woman, he's not going to entertain a woman he's not attracted to ever, point blank, period. And I do the same.
Yes and no. You see, good guys won't date outside of their dating preferences. But bad guys, oh yeah, they will. And why will they date outside their dating preferences? So that they can have an upper hand and manipulate and control you. Studies have shown that yes, most women don't date outside of their dating preferences. And when they do date outside of their dating preferences, it's likely because they have formed a genuine emotional connection. Now, there are some less than desirable reasons why a woman might also date outside of her dating preference. It could be because she has a savior complex, or because she just wants to give a guy a chance but is not actually really all that into him. But there are also some negative reasons, such as wanting to have control over someone or having some sort of predatory behavior. But in women, the likelihood of wanting to control someone or manipulate someone is actually quite low. In comparison, men don't usually date outside of their dating preferences. But those that do, it's more than half for bad reasons. It is to manipulate and to control. And if we look at a broader picture as to why a man might be attracted to an obese woman, there is a very, very high percentage chance that it's not for good things. So obese women actually have it much, much harder than thinner women do when it comes to finding a real attraction. Being fat isn't so much a filter as it is a target.
I know that no man, if he's not attracted to fat people, would... Some of them don't even treat me like a human being, let alone entertain me in any way, shape, or form. So those are the standards that I go in with dating. Obviously, looking back, there are definitely men that were not up to par, that I let get away with too much, but none of them look like that.
Let's talk about getting away with too much. Because the reason why men date outside of their dating preference is to get away with too much. It is to find a woman that they can cheat on. It is to find a woman that they can talk down to. It is to find a woman that they can treat badly. Is this all men? No, I'm definitely not talking about all men, nor am I talking about most of the population. But I am saying that a large percentage of the population that is dating fat women are doing it for negative reasons. And when you're talking about getting away with too much, well, that was the goal. So yes, there are a whole bunch of bad men, and yes, they did date thin women that are on TikTok with this Man of the Year trend showing a whole bunch of bad behavior. But just because these men dated thin women doesn't mean that there aren't men like this and worse dating fat women, as well as considering the percentage odds of fat women versus thin women and toxic relationships. The numbers just are not in your favor.
Being fat filters out so many evil, gross, like low quality men. There definitely are a lot still of low quality men into fat women, but so many of the like women need to be 90 pounds and subservient and thin and small and virgins and blah blah blah. Men with that mentality are usually not high quality men like they like to think they are.
I think Victoria's mixing up body preference with misogyny, because there are men that prefer slimmer women, and there are men that want to control women. And yes, sometimes there's an overlap where the man wants the woman to be small and to control her. But that is not the profile of controlling men. A controlling man wants to control a woman. And some have a preference for controlling thin women, but there's actually a greater percentage of men that want to control fatter women. Being fat only weeds out the men that don't want to have a relationship with you. The honest men that are going to be forthcoming and say, I don't want to have a relationship with a fat woman. But the door is wide open for all of those a-holes that don't actually want a relationship with you, but want to manipulate, control, and do other horrible, terrible things to you. I'm not saying that you're asking for it. I'm just saying that this is what the stats say. You attract way more a-holes by being obese than you would if you maintained a healthy weight.
And being fat eliminates like a good percentage of those men. And absolutely, there still are gross men that fat women have to deal with. But I do feel like being fat filters out a lot of like the worst men alive, kind of.
So I want to talk a little bit more about this filter, because Victoria presents it like we're just eliminating a couple of the bad guys. But really, when you're fat, you're eliminating a large chunk of the dating population. And that's just the facts. Because she's talking about wanting to find this magical man that loves her for her, and this magical man that doesn't care about body size. Because these plus size women, they don't want to be better, but they still want to be appreciated. And I hate to break it to them, but there's only a very small percentage of the population that will fit into that category. And in this day and age, we have access to data. And this data can show to us that even the good ones, even the men that say, I don't care about body size, it's not important, personality matters more, their behaviors, they don't align with what they say. So even though in a survey, 22% of men will say, I don't care about body size, it's not an issue for me. Well, when those same men are tracked, their behaviors show they only swipe on thin profiles. They only like pictures of thin girls, and they only ask out thin women. So, in my opinion, I think we need to redefine what a unicorn is. Because to me, a unicorn is a man that actually has no preference for body. None. Is not a chubby chaser, does not insist that women are thin, has dated the entire spectrum, and truly does not care. Because there's a lot of men that give it lip service whose actions do not align. And those whose actions do align with what they're saying are called out as being fat phobic and bad men just because they're willing to state that they do have a dating preference and they will not compromise their values on it. So when we combine all the data together, we can see that there's only a small percentage of the population that is willing to date fat people. And sadly, most of the men that fit into that category do not want to date fat women for good reasons and are more likely to want to manipulate and control them than to form a genuine connection with them. To me, this sounds like the opposite of weeding out the bad guys.
There is still plenty left over. But have you seen the fat phobes? Like, I'm so good. Anyways, I was at the beach today.
So we looked at the statistics and found out that only a very, very small percentage of the male population truly has no preference when it comes to body size. And we also looked at that a large percentage of the male population that dates fat people dates them to control them or manipulate them. Well, you know what's left? We have the men that appreciate fuller-figured women. Now, I'm going to play a clip of a TikToker that I think is quite polarizing. Some people might watch this and say, that man truly loves his woman and he truly appreciates all of her curves. Another person might watch this and go, he wants to keep her fat because he's fattening her. I'm not going to comment. They seem to be happy, but I just want to draw attention to what is left in the dating pool if we don't have fat phobes and we don't have the bad people that are going to control us, and we think that being fat is a dating filter. What is left for the fat woman to date? Well, this is it. Now, is that love or is that obsession? I don't know. I'm not going to say. I just wanted to throw that out there as this is what is likely available to you, more so than genuine connections if you are an obese woman in the dating scene. Now, I'm not saying that those unicorn men don't exist. They probably do, but I'm following the paper trail. I'm following the data. And the data says that even the men that say that they don't care, their behavior doesn't back up those claims. And even the good guys have some questionable behavior online that might make you think that they aren't as good of a guy as you think. Dating is going to be a crapshoot if you're thin or if you're fat. But I don't think that it's fair for Victoria to say that being fat is this great filter because it weeds out all of the bad guys, because it really doesn't. And it makes your odds a whole lot higher of attracting someone who does not have your best interest at heart. My name is Lydia, and this is the Body Honesty Project. And if you like this video, please subscribe.